Oui, bonjour, merci une fois de plus de nous écouter. Vous êtes sur Jambo Radio Scotland et c'est votre émission hebdomadaire, c'est Parlons-en, Let's Talk About It. Alors aujourd'hui, comme à l'accoutumée, il est important pour nous de rappeler que ce programme a pour ambition de stimuler, de motiver notre communauté, c'est-à-dire la communauté africaine. Bien sûr, on n'est pas là pour stigmatiser notre communauté, mais l'ambition, c'est de dire, on peut prendre des modèles, en disant, telle autre communauté fait ça, telle autre fait ceci. Donc, c'est l'objectif principal de cette émission. Donc, on va de temps en temps titiller la communauté, ce qui est important, mais ne prenez pas ça mal. L'objectif, c'est de nous motiver. Alors, le programme, le sujet que nous avons aujourd'hui est passionnant. Il s'agit des enjeux. En fait, on va évoquer en fait l'œuvre de la reine d'Angleterre qui est partie récemment. C'est vrai qu'il y a eu un changement parce que le sujet que nous devrions traiter aujourd'hui, il était question de parler des 5 éléments essentiels sur lesquels nous pouvons fonder le développement de notre communauté en termes économiques. Donc, on parlait des 5 éléments cruciaux, vitaux, qui permettraient à la communauté africaine de se développer sur le plan économique. Alors aujourd'hui, étant donné les événements que nous avons, déjà vous pouvez nous suivre, nous écouter sur Jambo Radio .co.uk. Ça, c'est notre website. Donc, si vous souhaitez nous écouter, vous pouvez le faire. Sinon, vous pouvez aussi nous suivre sur DAB Radio. C'est-à-dire, ça vous permet, c'est la radio digitale hein, qui vous permet de nous écouter dans votre véhicule ou un peu partout où vous trouvez. Mais vous pouvez aussi nous suivre sur toutes nos plateformes sociales. Hein, vous avez @Jambo Radio Scotland. Vous allez nous voir dessus. Alors, il est important de dire aujourd'hui que, étant donné que le sujet a un tout petit peu changé, nous parlerons de l'œuvre de la reine. Donc, today it's quite simple. We will have to discuss a little bit about the Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away recently. That was 2 days ago or 1 day ago. So, I've got in this studio a guest. And I don't know how to introduce him today because I usually call him Uncle, I call him Harry, and I call him everyone knows him in Glasgow. So if you've been in Glasgow and you don't know Harry, so there's an opportunity for you to know Harry. The reason being, an opportunity to have Harry in the studio is because he has a lot of, I would say it, wisdom. I would say that he will not agree with me, but I would say I take it on me to say it. That's the main reason, because we have to touch upon we'll talk about this topic about the Queen Elizabeth. So I believe that he's probably one of the person who can say a few words regarding the situation, the current situation, and that's the main reason why you're here, Ari. I will say that we have the opportunity. We're going to open the line. People will have the opportunity to call and to obviously voice, if they want, their opinion in regard to the current issue. But it has to be respectful, and this is a very important, very critical period. So I will advise everyone. I will suggest that as an African, we respect people who has left. So if you have to call us, please respect that period of time. So Ari, thank you very much for coming. I don't know if I have to introduce you as uncle or as a leader of the community. Let's choose the leader of the community. Ari, thank you very much for coming. You can introduce yourself if you want.
Yeah, thank you, Jambo, for having me on. My name is Harry Ajiako, originally from Ghana, and I have lived in Glasgow for over 40 years. So, as Jean-Michel put it, I know a few things. Now, today we're supposed to discuss the passing away of the Queen, a very somber and sad period. As I said earlier, I'm from Ghana, a member of the Commonwealth group of countries. And the Queen has had an impact on affairs in Ghana. First, she visited Ghana during the Independence Day when Kwame Nkrumah, our former president was in power. She had a lot of enjoyment. By that I mean the celebrations involve some merrymaking, dancing, and there are videos in the archives with the Queen, the former Queen, dancing with our former President Osajifo, and I think Prince Philip, her consort, then took over Kwame Nkrumah's Mrs., so to speak, Fatia. Yeah, so I believe they had a lovely time. Now, the Queen has had an impact on the Commonwealth countries. She's been able to glue them together, and the impact she's made has even encouraged some other non-former British countries. I think there are some French former colonies that have even joined the Commonwealth, which is an exciting and a good thing. We need to have a family of countries in our continent so that we can cooperate and do things together without repeating what each country does. The only way we can go forward is being together and doing things that we share together.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ari, for that very succinct explanation in regard to who is the Queen. But we will go into deep in regard to that. What I will have to say, according to we had a debate before we come to the studio in regard to that, and I said all my admiration basically I've got in regard to the Queen. I usually say that she's probably the only person in this world who can transcend the generation. So that's what fascinates me, because she is, if I only look at the way she dressed up, I always says I don't see anyone who can actually wear this kind of colors and look good.
Correct.
And also she is a woman. I was watching a documentary a few days ago. It wasn't even a documentary. It was the driver Hamilton talking on the Norton show, and it was basically related, basically his encounter with the Queen. He called her for there was a dinner, and he basically said that he never actually had someone so beautiful to talk to him, and obviously you have to respect the protocol, but he says that he felt very, very comfortable. So, and I also saw a couple of documentary a long time ago with Barack Obama and his missus, and all of them basically say a lot of good things. I don't know, Ari, if you met the Queen yourself.
I never met the Queen myself. She was, as I said earlier, in Ghana, I think on 2 occasions.
Yeah.
The first one was during the Independence Day in 1957 that was. But I was at school and wasn't part of the celebrations that went on. Later on, she went to Ghana, but I was out of the country. She went to Ghana, I think, in 1999, thereabouts. Yeah. Yes, yeah. And again, had a jolly good time. Yes, as Jean-Michel has said, the Queen encompasses all kinds of age groups.
Yes.
You would see her shaking hands with children, and then you would see her with older people. There has been a practice where people over the age or around the age of 100, she would always, invite them for a cup of tea.
For a couple of tea, yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
So what I want to return as well is basically what she did in regard to unify all the countries around the Commonwealth, because obviously the Commonwealth is basically all those countries who has in common the English firstly as a language, but who somehow share a cultural similarities, which push them to actually join the force together and to speak to one voice and to help each other, because that should be a way for a free trade between the countries. And we don't only trade goods, but we trade the culture, we trade even the economy, you trade. You can trade everything. To be honest,
even philosophy,
the vision. So even the peace, because this is something people don't see, but we can trade the peace by taking the example of how people have resolved the conflict. So in this case, you can see how she actually went, because there was a documentary yesterday on TV about her going to Ireland. So these are key points we have to put into consideration. Today, I really want us to discuss about things she actually, where she went above what she could have done. And people say that she had some low period during her reign whereby she felt very, very bad, but she tried to rectify the mistake she probably made, or not even the mistake, but what she could have done better, because she always tried to improve. And someone was saying today that she always learned. And be close to her, it is basically 7 decades of history. So it's a book, basically. That's why I said, in somehow, we kind of, it's a sad sweet, because it kind of we're very, very sad to see someone like that living. But somehow, obviously, there's a sweet, because we do have the king who's already there.
Correct.
That's right. But we will not focus today on the king. We'll probably focus today on the queen. So we noticed that she basically went all over the place. She went to all those continents. So she went in Africa, in America, everywhere she could, in Asia. So what is, according to you, something we can remember in terms of, let's start with the culture. Well, what do you think she promotes here in the UK and probably abroad, when we talk about?
First of all, the Queen had a very charming personality, such that she could be friendly with anybody. She was chums with most presidents, I should say all the presidents of the African countries, and there were, I think, 51 countries, plus also the Dominion nations, Canada, Australia, and others. So with that charming personality, she was approachable, and she generally even invited most of the presidents to Buckingham Palace to have discuss with them and have tea with them, apart from her going to the different countries herself to visit. Now, with that kind of personality, you cannot, have any disagreement as such with a charming person, and that kind of personality that she had, I would say, was shared over the other nations that were in the Commonwealth, so that Nigeria could get along with Ghana without any issues.
That's what I talk about, sharing the pace early on, because obviously when you have those conflicts, for example, Nigeria and Cameroon, or Nigeria and anyone, or Ghana with Togo, other stuff, I know that when you get to the Commonwealth, somehow she will say, okay, listen,
correct,
let's resolve this peacefully. Let's see what we can do. What's the best call of action here? And let's talk.
Right.
Because that was, everyone says that she actually talk a lot. Or we don't see her, but everyone says that she talk a lot. So I was a bit surprised, because when I see her, I don't see someone who basically was talkative, who's someone who basically have jokes around other stuff. I don't see that. When you see on the TV, you sometimes you feel like the monarchy is like kind of robotic. It's kind of there are things, rules you need to respect. So it's so difficult. But apparently, everyone who was close says that it's a different person, one-to-one, and very friendly, speak very quietly, so that everyone can basically hear what she said. So, aujourd'hui, je souhaiterais dire que nous parlons de cette œuvre-là, de l'œuvre de la Reine d'Angleterre qui est partie récemment. Et il est important pour nous de dire qu'en tant que Reine d'Angleterre, effectivement, elle s'occupe de tous les pays du Commonwealth. Le Commonwealth, c'était cet ensemble-là. c'est une union de pays qui ont pour langue première l'anglais et qui partagent effectivement. C'est un lieu d'échange, c'est une plateforme dans laquelle les pays peuvent se regrouper, discuter sur des problèmes socio-culturels, politiques, économiques et voir comment ils peuvent s'améliorer. Ça, c'était important et c'est ça qu'on est en train de regarder. Quel héritage gardons-nous de la reine d'Angleterre? So, Harry, what we were talking about is more what's the heritage in terms of, let's say it, because we know and we studied at school. At school, they say that the queen doesn't govern, the queen rule.
Right.
So basically, she's not involved in the day-to-day business. But we know that that's probably a lack for trust. She actually met the queen the last time when she has been elected prime minister. She probably one of the last person who basically has met
officially.
Yes, officially the queen.
Yeah.
Because we saw the pictures. So do you believe that the queen, or what do you think in regard to the impact her hands on the governance in this country? Do you believe she was basically a person who said, do what you can, do the best you can, perform the best as you can, I will never be involved in the day-to-day activities?
Well, yes, according to the protocol of the monarchy is not supposed to be involved in the politics of the nation. But the queen, although she sat back, I think she had a quiet word in the years of some of the presidents. The presidents, I think they count about 7 prime ministers.
Prime ministers
that had served.
Yeah, 7.
Yes, yeah. So she did really hold the nation together. As you know, we've had the Irish problem.
Yes,
and it's been under control thanks to other intervention,
obviously.
Yes, but the queen has maintained, although a certain amount of you might describe it as an aloof position, but she's not really aloof as such. She gets involved, but behind the
scene.
Yeah. She signs some of these documents. She goes to Parliament, opens Parliament, and subscribes to some of the documents that have to be used to rule the country.
All right, Ari. I don't know. Obviously, I call you here because at least you've been in Glasgow for 40 years. So you'll probably be in this country for 50 years. So you should know more in regard to, can you recall any event which was kind of funny in regard to the Queen?
Well, I personally didn't experience any such funny event, but listening to some of the comments recently in Parliament, I recall one that former Prime Minister recounted. What's the name of the last female Prime Minister again?
I forgot her name. Theresa
May. Yes, yeah. The very interesting story that she narrated. She says she was invited to the palace, and I think they were having a barbecue.
Yes.
And she decided to help in serving the people. So she picked up a plate and put on a slice of cheese, to go and give to somebody. Now, generally, actually, I understand when the royalty has such a gathering, a party, they do everything.
Yes.
They do the service and so forth. Guests are just supposed to just sit, watch, and enjoy. But in this case, Theresa May decided to serve cheese. And she says as she was going along, the cheese fell. she dropped the cheese on the ground. So she says she turned around and she saw that the Queen was looking at her. So she nodded, and the Queen also nodded. And she said she picked up the cheese, put it back on the plate, and carried on. And the Queen still looked at her. So she just went and left the cheese where she should have left it. And they were both laughing, which was a very interesting thing, because you drop cheese on the ground, you generally for hygiene's sake, no pick it
Nip
up.
it up.
And particularly not in front of royalty.
All right, this is quite funny. And I was listening to a program. I think that was it was Tony Blair was talking about something similar, where he was basically recalling an event whereby he was setting. I think. Well, I will come back to that one because we probably have to have a break music right now. Can we have it right now, or we still have a couple of minutes? So it depends. So I'm happy to do that or happy to carry on. So the technical asked me to carry on. Me, I'm happy to do that. So perfect. So we will continue with to see what happened with the Queen. But I wanted to know any event, for example, I don't know if you recall any from the Queen abroad, and whereby she basically make people crack. Is there any? Do you recall something like that? Or I do have a visit, but that was a visit in this country of the president of Cameroon who arrived, and obviously they need to explain you the protocol. And what was funny is you see all those presidents in front of the Queen. They basically look like babies.
or statues. They can't talk.
Can't talk. Yes. So it was so funny. I saw the picture. Someone, well, we cannot show the picture here, but I got that picture. It's quite funny. It looks like someone who's basically learning, listening, and said, "Okay, this is a law experience in front of me. I better just listen to what she said." So it was. I was watching that, and I just said, it's amazing how, without even being close to her, you can be so indulged. Because I personally, I always say it, that she's the only person across all the ages, all the generation, all the culture. Because we talk about, most of people talk about racism, all the stuff, but you can see that we haven't really put this one to her. No one really says things like that in regard to her. So all the years, and obviously you can see someone who kept the traditional part, but also who managed to transform herself because of the events of the social network today. We have all those new stuff, form of media, whereby you have to readapt yourself.
Yes.
So, and I think I was telling you early on when we were on the stage, whereby what really struck me was during the Olympic Games with the 007, whereby she jumped from an helicopter. And obviously, I know for the fact that it's not her, but that image itself, actually, every time I watch it, I just laugh.
Yes, yeah.
Because I just say, how come she managed to? Because this is something whereby she touched the youth, she touched the younger generation,
all ages,
all the ages. So you can see her and reinventing herself every time. So this is something that basically, which for me struck me, and also I always say, for me, she's, I don't know, the only person who can basically make everyone laugh.
Yes.
And we all agreed, probably, I'm pretty sure that all those issue of war, everything around the continent, I'm pretty sure that the word of wisdom, when she probably looked at it and said, okay, I better not talk now. Let's see. And once she called you, she gave you that pep talk, and you understand that this is the best thing to do, and you just follow it.
I would say it's not only her making people laugh, but in her presence, people tended to behave, comport themselves. There's one protocol that I know, that you do not smoke in front of the Queen. However, her sister was a heavy smoker, but I don't think when they were together she smoked in front of her. No, if she wanted to smoke, I think she would go to some area, a smoking room, and smoke. But there's one thing, it's not laughter or funny as such, but an observation I made when President Trump visited here, and they were doing the I forgot the technical term, but they were seen to the army.
Yes.
And
the review of
viewing the army.
Yes.
There's a particular word for it. I can't get it right now. But both the president and the monarch were supposed to walk together at pace. But Trump, being the bully that he is, decided to walk faster than the Queen without consideration for the Queen, who was. The Queen would have been
70, 80. She was
well,
close to 80.
At the time,
no, she was 80.
90.
No,
she was, because she's 96. 96. She passed away 96. So this is just a few years ago.
Yeah.
So Trump just decided to go a lot faster, and the Queen made him feel that no, he can't do that. So you could see Trump cycling back to be with her. Yes, backtracking. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have a break now for a few minutes just to listen to a nice song, which is should fit to the event, the current event we have right now. Thank you. Bonjour, une fois de plus, vous êtes sur Jambo Radio Scotland et c'est votre émission phare. Vous êtes sur Parlons-en, let's talk about it. And today we're talking about the heritage the Queen Mother has left and how we can capitalize on it. Alors aujourd'hui, c'est un sujet qui est assez poignant. C'est un tout petit peu compliqué parce que nous parlons d'une personne qui a exercé le pouvoir pendant plus de 70 ans et il est question de voir comment est-ce que c'est un temps qui est effrayant, qui est passionnant, excitant. Tout simplement parce que on sait, quelle que soit la qualité de la personne qui prend le pouvoir après avoir fait une vingtaine, une trentaine, une quarantaine, cinquantaine d'années au pouvoir, c'est toujours difficile de remplir en fait ce poste-là. Alors, nous pensons que le roi sera capable de faire ça, mais jusqu'à quel niveau il pourra remplir toute la volonté de sa mère, parce qu'il a dit, il a été clair et précis par rapport à cela. Il a dit, je ferai ce que ma mère a fait et j'essaierai de faire mieux. Alors c'est pas facile, c'est vraiment un lourd fardeau que le nouveau, l'ancien prince qui devient roi aura, parce qu'il a fait, tout le monde le connaît en tant que prince, mais aujourd'hui nous parlons du roi. Alors, nous aurons un appelant en ligne. So we have a call. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello. What is your name? And you have the floor.
Hi, guys. My name is Guy. I'm going to join you to say one word about our event. Actually, everybody knows that our Queen Elizabeth II is gone. She passed away. Just in memory of that great person. I forgot to say hi to Uncle Harry or Grandpa Harry.
Hi.
How are you, Harry?
I'm fine, King. Nice to hear from you.
Okay. Fortunately, I'm not here tonight. Today, I couldn't make it. So okay, next time I can see you anyway. I want to say that she has done something, maybe the worship to say about the Commonwealth is like to teach us the unity, how to be together, how to be one person, you know what I mean? Because the way she was behaved, like you say, with her uncle, the studio, she's the queen of every generation, not just his own nation, our nation, and youngest as well.
That's
so
right.
I don't know myself how she managed to do that, but she really do very good, very well. So now, we have a new queen, a new king, I don't know if it's going to be like the same, our queen. Let's go see what happens.
That's
But fortunately, everybody's eternal, so everybody comes one day, pass away one day. That's what I want to say.
That's true. Thank you very much, Guy, for your intervention. You're right. Basically, you took the words from my mouth. The second part is basically, okay, we have a big vacuum. She's leaving the state now. She's gone, and there's someone who needs to take over, and the king, Charles III, is there. And we were saying, well, according to me, even just 10 years to fill up the gap after 10 years is not easy. Filling 50, 70 years, this is a massive is actually a mammoth job. So
Mammoth, that's right.
no, it is. We are joking, but 70 years is 70 years of experience. It's not something. So we have to be very tolerant in regard to the new king.
Correct.
We have to understand that he actually learned a lot during all the time he's been prince.
Yeah, that's right.
He's coming with a lot of experience himself, but as you said, be the head of the Commonwealth, be the head of all those states. It's not an easy task. So
No.
I believe he's capable, more than capable, to take the country forward. But I believe people need to give him a little bit of time. People need to understand that it's a massive job. People will need to be probably very calm now, and that's the most important part, because business don't like a lot of issues around, don't like noise. As we always said, money doesn't go hand to hand with a lot of noise.
Correct.
So if you don't want the economy to collapse, people need to be calm, very, very calm. And that's why I actually enjoy the fact that
Another point I wanted to add, I don't know, but I think people must be not say mandatory that with not asking too much, because now it's no more a queen but a queen. I think is going to have, even if you have a lot of experience, you say, but I think it's going to give us another approach. People must just sit down and watch, you know what I mean, to appreciate the
Of
new
course.
king. So it's going to be different. I don't expecting something like a queen, you know.
No.
Just the watch we can bring out to us, you know. It's a different approach.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. As King Charles III has already said, certainly it's not going to be like him. His life is not going to be like him, where he intervened in various areas, climate change, architecture, and so forth. But he's going to observe and continue what the late queen
Has done.
So that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
And then Charles reaffirmed that he would defend the other faiths, including the Church of Scotland and others that are in line. Charles also confirmed that he will continue what the Queen did with regard to the financing of the royalty.
Yes.
Whereby in years gone past, the monarchy surrendered certain properties.
Yes.
And in exchange for revenue that would regularly come from the government, and Charles has decided to continue that, which is a good thing.
No, I believe during this speech, he delivered a great speech. I have to say,
it was,
because we were watching as well in regard to his kids, and it was great for him to mention the Prince William and to mention the Prince Harry.
Correct.
So that was really, really good, because there were a lot of noise surrounding everything about the Harry. Yes, he said he respects,
right,
which was fantastic to hear, because we have a new king there who basically comes and said we have to be calm, we have to be respectful. So that was good. For the first step, I just said this is fantastic. And well, personally, I don't know the king. I never actually attend any event with him, but everyone says someone with a massive knowledge, someone who basically, I was listening to one, I forgot the name of that actors who actually had the opportunity to be on to have a bursary from the, how do you call it, the Prince Trust, and he's in Germany now. He's a massive actor, but he is a black guy. So he was saying that, well, he spoke to the king, the now king, a few times, and the fact that the king came to one of these presentation and sat for 13 hours.
Wow.
He said that was a massive thing, because no one can sit and listen to drama for so long. So it's someone who's dedicated in everything he has done. Obviously, no one is perfect.
No.
So everyone has his issues. So today he is a king, and we have to give him time basically to continue, because he put it. He said this is continuity of what his late mom has done.
Correct.
So we believe that in regard, well, for me, there was a lot of achievement made by the Queen Mother.
Correct.
And I just believe that we can capitalize on it, and everyone in this country, in all the Commonwealth countries, should basically, for at least this first 6 months, be very calm and just look and try to see what the change mean. Because although you say that it's continuity, but it's a different type. It's not.
Exactly.
Firstly, there was a woman, and now there's a man. So it's a different type. People need to accommodate themselves. It will not be the same thing. Yes, he will try to do what his mom has done, has achieved. He followed through the step, but with a different touch.
Yes, he will have his own input.
He will have his own input.
Which will be impressive.
Because you cannot replicate the same thing she has done for 70 years. I don't believe that it's possible. But he will try to stick very close to the fundamental, and also to stick to what can be modern. So he will try to combine both. And well, according to me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because we do have someone who's been there for so long, who has a different experience, because obviously the Queen couldn't fulfill a lot of things due to the age. She couldn't go to a lot of things. He was basically going out. He was the one traveling around the world.
Correct.
So he knows, he has a massive experience, according to me. So I believe that it is. We shouldn't be very, very skeptic. We shouldn't be very scared. Well, we always say it. God save the Queen. Now we have to say it, God save the King, which is somehow great for me. So, Guy, do you have something else to add?
No, there's just no. Everything I said. No more to add. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you very much. That was a good thing today. We didn't talk about politics, because I said that I'm not. Today, I'm not. I said everyone who comes to my show today and says something, I will just something I dislike today, I will cut off. So I have to be honest. This is how you're going to work today. We are in a different period, a very, very serious period, and a difficult period of time. So people need to respect a couple of fundamental. So I'm happy for everyone to call and to say some kind words or any experience they recall in regard to the contact they had with either the king, the now king, or the late queen. So that would be great to listen to you guys. So anyone, feel free to give us a call. You have our phone number. You can give us a call on 0743782665. Okay, thank you very much, Guy. And it's gone already. That's good.
Well, I have a comment regarding the King's speech.
Yes.
It set out the roadmap of his involvement in the governance of the United Kingdom. But one thing I took home was the comment he made about Harry.
Yes.
The fact that he appreciates what Harry wants to do.
Yeah.
And to me, it looks like he's opened the door for Harry to make a choice whether he would come back into the fold of the royalty or stay outside the royalty. However, the
door is
king,
open.
It is. The king wishes him well, whichever way he chooses.
Yes, and that's his son. So that was something which was that was a part. I think a lot of people was waiting for that, because when he started and he said the heir and talk about William, and everyone will say, is he going to do that? What is he going to say? And that was great. Personally, I say this. That was a king talking. It is. It's coming as a king, as an open-minded person. So we, obviously, everyone, those who met him need to understand today that he's a king. It's a different animal today, so it's a different thing, it's a different world, it's a different personality you're going to have. But the most important thing is, I believe, is continuity, as he said, and also to make sure that the economy doesn't crash because as soon as there's a lot of noise, you see the money, you see all the bus, everything just crash. So we need to be calm, remain calm. And I think we have a new prime minister. It's a bit strange because we have a new prime minister, we have a new king. So it is an exciting period. And it's a difficult period for sure, but it is and also we need to celebrate that we have a new secretary, a Checker, which is from an African heritage.
That's right. So Kwesi Kwarteng is his name. As a matter of fact, it's of Ghanaian.
It's Ghanaian roots.
Yes, yeah.
So and it's great. It's something. It's change is coming, and I actually had the opportunity to check his CV as well, just to see. And he was an excellent student.
All right.
He was a fantastic student.
A good debater, I hear also.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So I didn't really know him until he was... Well, I knew him, but I never actually paid attention to his CV until he has been appointed. But I believe that it's a great time. New government, new king. Yes, I said at the beginning it's a sad period. That's true. But it's also somehow a very exciting period.
Correct.
So, Ari, I want us to touch upon a little bit something, the heritage from the Queen. What, according to you, believe is the main thing she actually left? The key thing you believe she was very close, something she had from her heart, something she actually... What do you think? Something she, I don't know.
We
she
can remember her by most.
Yes.
Well, I would say the fact that she was able to pull these different countries in Africa together, plus even the countries of the Dominion all together. I mean, they meet, have conferences together from one national capital to another. I think that is quite impressive. It's not always easy to pull different countries with different cultures and opinions and styles of government together. I mean, take the G7 and 8.
Yeah.
Sometimes they meet, they have discussions, and they have difficulties getting a communique acceptable to everybody, even at the United Nations.
No, it's difficult. Yes. We cannot agree to everything together.
No, she did well in that sense.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you here, Ari. It is something we should remember. It's difficult. One country is already difficult. 2, 3, 40, 15. I don't know how she managed. Obviously, we can see that she has a powerful leadership. It's something we had a debate before coming to the studio about that. What is leadership? But I believe she has a powerful leadership because a leader doesn't need to speak loudly.
No.
Doesn't need to be present every day. That's not a leadership according to me. No. So she has one of the techniques is stewardship. So I believe that's what she used, and you can see that you have King used to be Prince Charles, and he had something to do. Now Harry has something to do. William has something to do. She basically share all those power around her, and I believe this is one person cannot
do all that.
Yes,
yeah. Well, one thing I would say, or I would observe, is the way she handled difficult situations.
Yes.
One, let's take the loss of Earl Mountbatten.
Yeah.
I mean, he was killed in such a indefensible manner, and yet the Queen stayed calm about that event. And then take the fire that took place at her own property, and also the difficulties her children had gone through in their marriage.
Yes.
She handled all that, and some of the issues. I think she was a great queen who kept things
everything on the yeah, no, that's right. So we have 6-7 minutes left, Ari. So we have I don't know 5 minutes, I think. I hope so. We still have a couple of minutes we can go. All right. Nous avons encore quelques minutes. Vous pouvez, si vous souhaitez, nous appeler, nous envoyer des messages. Effectivement, j'ai reçu quelques messages dans des boîtes sur nos réseaux sociaux. C'est vrai. Aujourd'hui, effectivement, je le dis, c'est une période assez difficile, une période beaucoup plus complexe qu'on le pense. Et en tant qu'Africains, il est nécessaire que nous respections les morts, surtout des morts de ce calibre-là. Oui, on respecte tous les morts, mais il est important de regarder l'œuvre faite par cette reine qui a régné pendant 70 ans. Aujourd'hui, je suis d'accord. Vous pouvez dire ce que vous souhaitez sur les réseaux en disant que c'est la dictature. J'empêche aux gens de dire ce qu'ils pensent. Oui, c'est vrai. Aujourd'hui, j'empêcherai tout le monde qui dira des choses qui ne sont, en ce qui me concerne, pas audibles en ce moment précis. Je vais effectivement demander que ce soit coupé. Alors, merci de nous avoir écoutés. Harry, we still have 2-3 minutes. So, do you have anything exciting to say, either regarding the king or the queen or both? And after that, we probably have to sum up here because the program is, we still have a few.
Well, maybe not necessarily exciting aside, but I would say the morale we could take from the queen's the way she performed would be for us to learn how she managed difficult situations. And we relate the queen to nations, but I think families, family units can benefit from the way she handled difficult situations. And we do have, every family has some difficult issues. And it's up to the persons within the family to try and calm situations so that the family can always remain together.
Yes.
I believe in togetherness. There's a saying that if you take a broom, you cannot break the whole broom.
Yes.
But if you take one strand of the broom, you just...
It's easy.
Very easy.
Yeah. This is the wise... That's what I said. That's the reason why he's in this studio today. We have to learn every time when Ari is there. So, Ari, what we didn't do in this program, because usually what I said at the beginning of my program is this program is all about motivation.
Right.
But we motivate our community.
Correct.
So we're not here to stigmatize any other community.
Not at all.
But we can take example models from those community.
Correct.
And say this can be replicated. So obviously, most of the time we are very, very hard in regard to our community. And but that's the aim. So if someone is not happy, fair dues, he can give us a call.
Right.
And he can voice his opinion, which is great. But what we try to do here is motivate to push people to do better than what they're doing right now. Because what we understand, what we can see in the community is that we saw other community becoming, well, they were not as good as we are. We've been to university, we have a lot of degrees, but we can see that we are not flourishing.
No.
So obviously that's the aim of this program, to say, listen guys, what is our problem? So let's find a solution. So we always try to put forward 1, 2 or 3 solution, but this is the aim of this program.
Correct.
So normally when we start the program at the beginning, we always say, is there anything you actually wish either bother you or you're very excited about, any news? So because of the current situation, I went straight to the topic.
Right.
But is there anything else basically which annoy you or which is kind of exciting news for you? Anything. It can be politics, economic, social, Africa, everywhere.
Correct. Well, for me personally, what bothers me is some difficulties, discrepancies, disagreements within the different communities in Glasgow. Here we have the Cameroonians, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, and the Kenyans. I like to see
more integration,
collaboration, integration. Within all this, and even within each particular community, the differences between the members should be resolved.
Yes.
There's a saying that it's good to talk. So where there are differences, the people involved, concerned, should talk. They should come together.
No.
Don't keep things in your, in
the
yourself.
chest.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Anyway, what I usually say is that within, we can fight. We can actually beat each other up. But once we're out, we need to be unified. We need to say, okay, we forgot about this.
Right.
Let's show a better image of ourselves outside, because it's something which is, when you go around, it's very striking. Is that when you go around, you go to Glasgow, you go to Edinburgh, you go to Aberdeen, most African has a PhD. All of them, they show the PhD. But I always ask myself, what for?
Yeah, correct.
So, so it's something, but it's our debate. So next week we will talk about, that's the topic for next week. It is the 5 key points which can enable our community in terms of business wise to become
to thrive.
To thrive. So thank you very much for listening to us today. I've got the technician Barrow, who's actually kicking me right, and he said this time. So merci de nous avoir écoutés. Je pense que ça fut un plaisir. J'espère que vous allez être nombreux la semaine prochaine. Au revoir.